take a plane to another plane, to another plane, to another plane, bumping Baka not nice while I'm trapping in the rain.
Yeah. This is the milestone episode number 40, motherfucker, of Ezza Trips Balls. Forgive my profanity, but you know what I mean? We out here, man. Sometimes you get excited and you celebrate a little too hard. But we're drinking water out here for episode 40. I didn't pop any champagne. And it's also going to be my last episode of 2020. So very special guest today. One of my best friends. We go way back.
Oh yeah.
My man, Dxrrell Mxller. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm here. I'm happy. And yeah, fuck. Shit. A lot of stuff to look back on, but I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, all the way back from Calgary for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Man's currently residing out west.
Yeah, it's fucking. Yeah, isn't that something?
Who'd have thunk it, eh?
I know.
Yeah, it was kind of a race to episode 40. I'm sorry, KQ, man. Laghima Designs he also wanted episode 40, but you know what? I told you both. Y'all gotta race to the studio, man, because somebody's gonna get episode 40. But yo, shout out to everybody. I just had Rebel Mahari on episode 39, so we're really keeping it. We're keeping it in the family around the milestone. So yeah, let's talk a little bit, man. Shit, how have you been enjoying living in Calgary, and how long have you been out there now?
Yeah, man, fuck, for real. Well, I moved out there like 4 years ago. So
has it been that long now?
Yeah, right.
Holy!
December was 4 years since I've been out.
I was thinking like 2 years or something.
Yeah, right. So I've been down here like quite a bit of time, but yeah, I've been in Calgary for about. Yeah, let's bring this baby a little closer there. And yeah, it's been about 4 years now since I've been in Calgary. It's great being out west, just clean fucking air, just different vibe. But yeah, it's always good to be home and see all friends and family and get working on some music, because that's what it's about.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about music then. So since you've sort of taken on the Dxrrell Mxller name, for those who don't know, locally people know you as Dice.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of around the time, well, maybe a little bit before you moved, that you started taking on the Dxrrell Mxller name.
Yeah.
And you're, you've really adopted your own style since then.
Yeah.
So you've had a couple projects out.
Yeah. A couple uploaded on Spotify right now. First one I had a couple years ago, I think that's when I first started using the Dxrrell Mxller name, was It's Not About You.
Yes.
If you haven't streamed that yet, go hear that shit. But yeah, that was the first time that I started using the Dxrrell Mxller name. Really started, picking up on a new vibe, just a different style, And after that, I had Passive Aggressive. That's on there. Yeah, go stream that as well. But yeah, for the most part, those are the two albums that I started using Dxrrell Mxller with. And yeah, man, those are just some different shit for real.
Yeah, like for the most part, you really started to mix in more singing. You used to be like a really good rapper, like one of the most lyrical rappers that I rapped with. This guy used to rap like Eminem Infinite album, like, but on some G shit, you know what I mean? But like this guy had rhymes for days, bro. But yeah, so part of your sort of switching to the Dxrrell Mxller was sort of a sort of a softening of the vibe, let's say. Not in a bad way though, but like just in a more friendly way, right? And then also incorporating more melodies and stuff, which I know a lot of that inspiration comes from your family background. So how much did your sister inspire you? For those who don't know, this is Terry Lyons' little brother.
Yeah. Honestly, well, first of all, I'm not sure if most people know, but throughout my family, there's always been musicians and stuff like that for the most part. And my sister, she's pretty heavily involved in music back in the Caribbean and all over the world. She's really known. So
big shout out.
Yeah, she works really hard at her stuff. But when I got into the Dxrrell Mxller stuff, it was really and truly more or less understanding what music is. When I was in that Dice phase, it was just just, you just rapping whenever, which was a good part of, when you just started rapping, you just rap.
It's how you learn.
Yeah,
really.
no real structure or anything like that. And I felt like after a while I started understanding like how to make a song.
Right.
Whatever the case is, but I felt like, being influenced and more singing and stuff like that. So I felt like, I was just more comfortable with my musical self at that point. And definitely it's attributed to, going way back and, how we grew up, my sister and my mom and all of us. So definitely a lot of influence from our family. And but for the most part, I'm just so comfortable with music now. It's just I had to section off my life.
Right.
For some reason, I just felt so.
Well, one thing that I preach on the show a lot is recording yourself and trying to have your own creative space to do music in. And I witnessed as you sort of built that for yourself, it really freed you as well. And I feel like you're sort of budding as an artist goes hand in hand with your having that freedom to experiment without being on somebody else's time.
Fuck right, man. It's crazy. If any artist out there, big advice. If you're not doing your own stuff, and you're not even at least trying, like start there, start trying, even if you're not gonna, just do it fully. Just start trying, just to get familiar with it, because it was one of the biggest changes that I ever made musically. I've always been in with the program, no matter where I went, but just learning to have that ear and being able to apply that directly without having a middleman, like it's one of the biggest things. So I have even anywhere I go, I try to have a really good setup, and right now I think I have a really good setup, and it's been working for me, man. I do all my own shit, and I have this guy here, he's a crazy, he masters shit like amazing. So, and I have other guys too that I'm working with as well. So for the most part, man, doing most of the stuff, and just sending off for the touches and finishing touches and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so there's the creative incentive to do it yourself, to be able to experiment and stuff. And then there's also the financial incentive. Like you make a one-time purchase of a microphone, an interface, a laptop, and you avoid, months and months and months of going back to studios and paying for hourly or whatever it is, right? So even if you have to do what you do and record yourself, and then where your like mixing confidence ends, you'll then outsource it to somebody else to put the finishing touches on. You're still cutting your budget by a lot doing that. You know what I mean? You're not using a whole bunch of your like project budget on the recording time. And it also is freeing you up to experiment. So certainly, again, go listen to this man's projects, and they're kind of proof of that ability to sort of experiment on your own. You sort of find things that you may not find while you're recording, some different shit.
You can get, honestly, you can get as technical as you want without worrying about, how somebody else is going to feel about, editing your vocals or some shit like that. And, after a while being in the studio, you're paying for hours and hours at a time. You're going to make mistakes. Like, you don't want to feel like you can't make mistakes, at the same time. So, just all in all, you get to save some money and, get that experience. That's so important, man, for real.
Absolutely. So what's your feeling on music right now? Like a lot of it has to do, like, we're getting older, right? And as you get older, you more want to let's 30's the new 20, right? Let's as you get older, you want to focus more and more on your craft, and like, I've been doing this for so long, what can I do that's different? What can I do that's exciting for me, right? Whereas I think a lot of the scene is people finding ways to set themselves apart just with a buzz or with excitement or with social media following, this, that, or the other. And a lot of it unfortunately ends up having to do with clout chasing, with like hood shit, with street shit. I always say I'm thankful that we kind of missed that era, when we were younger and kind of more reckless and coming up. we probably would have done some dumb shit on
Mhm.
social media if it
Yeah,
was around
right?
back then, right? But it really wasn't. So, you know, you're somebody that, you know, came here when you were young to this country. You know, you lived in Toronto in your formative years, and you got into some shit, right?
Yeah.
But you have not made that your musical identity, which
No.
I find interesting. And that's something I kind of wanted to talk to you about is like, what is your, it must be strange because like you have that in your background, you have that in your story, you have that in your history, but you're making a conscious effort to not make that the forefront of your image. You really want positivity and more of the spreading of good things and motivation and inspirational shit to be your image.
Yeah.
Where we're now in a game where if you're known for street shit or you're known for hood shit or you're known for even rapping about that, that could send you further. That is big now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Luckily you're getting a little older now, but I'd love to hear just your feelings on that, like, you know, where your mind state would have been when you first went to Toronto, if it was the way it is now.
Yeah.
You know, and as an older head now, what would you say to some of these young cats that are completely reckless and completely on, you know what I mean, that you know, you've now chosen a different route and may not be the route to millions of listeners right away, but it's a more of a righteous path. So what's your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, man. Well, fuck. First of all, thank you because you know, I appreciate all of that for real. But you know, when you, I'm not sure, I can't speak for everyone, but you know, when come into this country, you know, really young, you don't have direction, you know, and I feel like that's what's happening with a lot of kids. They don't have direction, you know. You just kind of you take to whatever crowd is happening at that time or whatever you're kind of used to. So that's pretty much the boat that I was in when I first came here. It was just kind of getting mixed up with the wrong crowd, not really knowing what I wanted, and you know, I was happy to make it out of all of that shit alive. And I think because of most of that is why in my music, you know, I kind of speak a lot of positivity, you know. I feel looking back on a lot of the stuff that not only myself have been through, like I know other people have been through, or just people in the world have been through. I think it's a good idea for, you know, just people in general to give back that way, you know, just be able to spread some positivity, be honest with yourself, especially when it comes to music, man. That's the only way I get to release, right? So I think I'm honest in my music, and yeah, that's pretty much just what comes out on the record. Just fucking being honest, man.
Yeah,
Honestly.
and you don't talk down on people that do other things either. That's
No,
the thing.
no,
You're not
yeah,
here being
fuck.
like, "Oh, you kids need to get out of the street, pull your pants up."
Yeah.
None of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're
shit.
just doing you and being honest with what was your path.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think about it too much. I feel like once the beat comes on, every single beat is different. You know, as soon as the beat comes on, it just fucking, it just comes out. That's just how it comes out, you know. So I'm happy that, you know, it doesn't have to be fake. I don't have to make up nothing to appeal to anyone. It's just like, this is how I'm feeling. I put it down on the song, and that's just what it is, man. You know? That is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Fuck. You know, stir up a lot of emotions talking about that shit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, well, no kidding, man. It's been a long path for us, a long fucking road.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dice and I met right when he came to Canada, basically.
Yeah.
I was in elementary school, and Chuck 90s, who is paid tribute too much on this podcast, RIP, my best friend Chuck 90s. You know, we grew up together, and when his cousin here moved into the country, he chilled in our elementary school. I don't even remember how long that was for, but this guy just started coming to school with Chuck, and everybody was just like, "All right, yeah, yeah." It was very strange, but and then, you know, went to high school with us, and fucking all sorts of drama happened. Got sent to Toronto, fucking come back. But while you were in Toronto, I remember you went and bought a microphone and you used to record.
Fucking computer mic too.
Yeah, this guy used to record shit, and he used to have like mad, like everybody from the hood. They'd be sending me mixes. I'd be coming home from school and fucking mixing these hard ass records, you know.
Oh man, that's the best days, man.
Yeah.
You don't even try. You literally just all you think about is just the love for the music. You know, you just want to get some words out. I'm pretty sure I went to a dollar store. It wasn't like dollar it was like dollar plus.
Yeah, back then it didn't matter.
Yeah,
man.
and I got a computer mic, literally one of those the pencil computer mics, and
we made some tracks, man. We had some heaters back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they're still somewhere. Coma's got them, probably.
A lot of songs that people will never hear, but
yeah,
you
never know. One day, one day.
Some retro city.
Yeah, but we done. You know, we came up, man. We're still at it, and it's a struggle, but you know, it ain't over till it's over, man. And it's interesting now doing it from different sides of the country, right? Like, how has the scene been like in Calgary as far as spreading your music and stuff? Have you had any luck out there that way?
Yeah, fuck. Honestly, Calgary was way different than what I thought with music, you know, because, you know, coming from here, going out there, you'd hear that, sorry, it's just like cowboy shit and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what you're thinking. You're thinking it's like strictly like that, but like it all depends on whatever scene that you're in, right? So I went out there, and even the music that I had recorded long before, I found a lot of people out there who was helping, giving me shows and stuff like that. They were posting my stuff on social media. You know, shout out to 10 at 10 Calgary and a lot of Buzz 403 and a lot of people there who are, you know, just supporting local artists and stuff like that. So with Edmonton close by, I think that, Calgary's music scene with Edmonton music scene, there's a potential there for someone famous to come out of there, you know, just keep supporting your artists and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'd say that, you know, they're almost there, man. And I got a lot of support out there. So yeah, I can't hate on that at all.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I gotta come back out there and for a visit at some point.
Yeah.
How's the COVID situation out there? Is it like the same as here?
Fuck. Honestly, I think people out there are so like pretty strict on it.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's almost like people just listening to the radio all day out there. You know, especially being in a city.
Big cities are like that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're trying to enforce a lot of rules. There's a lot of people walking closely.
It's a population center.
Exactly. For the most part, you find a lot of people who are really on their stuff. You know, I got yelled at a few times in grocery stores.
Really?
For not looking at the errors and shit properly. But for the most part, I think I think they're dealing with it well. Right now, Alberta is on lockdown, so. I hope that fucking shit works out, man.
I hope so too. Do you have to get tested to fly out here? How was that? What was the flying out here like?
Well, there's no real interprovincial restrictions right now, so thank God. But going back, you know, in order for me to go back to work,
flying back, everything's changing while you're here.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to go get a COVID test. Like they're gonna have to stick some shit up my nose just to make sure that I'm okay. I'm going to have to look out on my flight just to make sure there was
You've been in dirty Ontario, motherfucker. We need to test you.
It is what it is, man. Put my name in the hospital system. Here
I am. You ain't walking back to Calgary.
This is the last time you're going to hear about me.
Yeah, no, it is what it is, man. It's hard. There's a lot of craziness. I really just hope that people can find some semblance of peace between one another, whether or not we agree on all of this, all of these very polarizing topics. Like these are big. These things are big deals, and of course, you're gonna have a bunch of different opinions, people that think this, that, or the other. We just need to be a little bit nicer to each other. I think, you know, ultimately that's the main problem.
People are dying. You know, people are dying. I don't know what it's from. If all is from COVID, if all is not. You know, right now people are dying.
Yeah.
That's what's getting pushed. We just gotta wear some masks for, you know, to go inside the store.
It's not a
to
big
do a
fucking
couple
deal.
things, you know. I don't see nothing that wrong with it. You know, obviously there's other people who are going to be like, no, I shouldn't have to wear a mask to go in the store. So, you know,
It
you
sounds
know,
so
if we're
logical
going to
when you put it
argue
like,
about every little thing,
yeah,
then, you know, you're fine.
yeah.
But I don't see the big deal. So I just hope that, you know, my contribution is able to, you know, help somebody get out of hospital a little bit sooner.
Yeah, well, yeah. Here's the other thing is that everybody wants to be like, oh, you're not going to die. Well, there's other things besides death that happens as a
Yeah.
result of this. There's some pretty bad stories out there of people having long-term effects already. You know what I mean? Imagine years down the road. You've got this residual issue, whatever it may be, right? So I think that I was fully in the camp of like, oh, here goes the government fucking flexing their muscles again and overstretching. But you got to think about it. It's just this is not tyrannical. You know what I mean? Like, you got to wear a mask when you go into a fucking restaurant. It's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? There's more weed flowing the streets of this fucking country than there is anywhere else on the planet.
Canada,
if you're gonna be held down by a tyrannical government, at least ours lets us have all the fucking chronic. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, we can still even go out and do shit. You just gotta wear a goddamn mask and stay separate from people.
And honestly, like,
we're good.
I feel really bad for a lot of the people who have to work extra shifts, and there's some people who have to respect these rules because they work in that environment, which is really tough for those people. I'm sure they want to go back to their regular lives as well, you know. And I remember a while ago I had like this pain on my side, and I needed to go to the doctor just to confirm that I was good to go, you know. And you know, the last thing I would hate is for someone to be like, oh, you gotta wait for like 5 months just to get that checked. Because I would have been worried because, you know, right now, if I was going into the hospital for that right now, they'd just be like, go home, bro. Like, we got too much shit to worry about. Like, your little pain, you know, put some ice on it. So, you know, a lot of stuff, a lot of people who need treatments and stuff like that, I think they can get it. So that's important too.
Yeah. And you know, there's things that suck about it. You know what I mean? Small businesses, it's unfortunate. You know, some people that have to close their restaurant or whatever, but it's like no solution to any problem is going to make everybody happy. You know, there's a big fucking problem. It's going to require some bold solutions. And when you have to have bold solutions, some people are going to get fucked over.
And some people are going to capitalize on it. Unfortunately, we do know that that's what's happening in some areas. And that's just what it is. There's big players who are putting this on the market, and
this is good for business for a lot of people, right? But it's not. It's not their fault, but they're going to take advantage. You know what I mean? And it's like, and there's in any situation, there's going to be winners and losers. Unfortunately, it's like I lost my job. I guess I'm a loser of the situation. Somebody else, you know, the CEO of the company that laid me off is probably going to win big in this situation because everybody's buying weed and they have less employees to pay now. So it's just the fucking way of the world. You know what I mean? So it's it's hard to imagine. I just don't. People who are so scared of the government, it's like you got to understand that your workplace already runs your life more than any government can. You know what I mean? It's like you are a slave to where you work already. You know, you gotta obey by all those fucking rules that aren't laws. Why are you so mad that you gotta obey a mask rule? It's not the fucking law. There's no law. Well, you gotta obey rules when you go to work too, and a lot of them aren't laws. Right. So it's just like, you know, you got to imagine a lot of people who are so reluctant to accept some government making decisions for their lives are perfectly willing to accept some business fucking corporate entity making decisions for them, because that's the free market, right? That's people. That's the American dream. That's rags to riches. That's all that stuff. But if the government tries to make a decision that is going to be for the most good of the most people, hopefully. I mean, they could be secretly evil. I don't fucking know. But to me, I'm more willing to accept that they have reasons to do good, because we need to fucking vote for them for them to stay in power.
Mhm.
Whereas the CEOs of companies and shit, there's no elections. You know what I mean? They're not held accountable. They don't ever see the inside of a jail cell.
No, they
So
don't
it's
care.
like, where is the tyranny? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll trust the government before I trust some motherfucking CEO.
Yeah.
You know,
I just saw a meme freaking talking about Burger King still out here selling, 10 chicken nuggets for $1.50.
Yeah,
How
like,
much people are out here dying?
the government don't need to kill you.
These companies
Yeah.
have been doing it forever. So I just, I know it's a controversial topic for the most part with a lot of people, but there's always going to be a left and a right side to everything.
Yeah.
That's why there's multiple different parties in the House of Parliament, blah blah blah. There's always going to be a bunch of different people who are for one government or for one
Policy.
policy or movement and stuff like that. So all in all, this is what's happening right now, and I hope this shit is over soon, because summer 2021, I do not want to be inside.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
I do not want to be inside.
It's too much. I'm just thankful again we don't live in America, because that's fucking goddamn free for all down there. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Tyson was on the show a couple episodes ago, and I actually haven't fact checked this, but I'm assuming Tyson wouldn't be on here talking nonsense. He told me that if Florida was its own country, it would be by far the worst country for COVID as far as population to cases.
How?
Yeah,
it's one
Isn't
fucking state.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
In the number one country on the planet, in the richest country in the world.
How?
Just how badly they botched this thing. There are underdeveloped countries that dealt with this situation better than America.
Like a leader, like a forerunner in some way.
They should be teaching us all what the fuck to do. They got the manufacturing. They got everything.
You go into debt for that. Like, if you want to go into debt for something, like, you're already so much in debt for like military service and all of that. Like, go into debt for people's health. Show them that you don't care. Like, money to the end of the day means nothing.
It's crazy, right?
See, like the world debt. Like, who do we owe? Who do we
It's all made up.
These
it's
people's
all
health
fake. Everything is fake.
are way more important. Like, put some money into your economy as far as like in the healthcare system goes. Pour it to fucking go directly into these communities.
Healthcare and education, man.
Exactly. Find out what they need. Put that money in. Go into debt. Don't even look at the money. Just do it. Just do all of it.
The same thing you do when you need to bail out a company or military spending, whatever. When you've got some threat. Just how about people dying and being uneducated as a threat to your fucking national security, man? Like, rampant. Oh, it's fucking insane. Did you hear now they're gonna give them $600? That's their fucking big payout. They're bailing.
R.I.P. to Americans.
They're bailing out all these fucking companies billions of dollars, and they're giving people $600, man.
Oh my gosh. Well, my hearts go out to the people who actually need the money. I'm not sure exactly what are the struggles people have over there, in terms of like their bills and stuff like that. But I know for sure $600 is just wow.
Not enough, man. Not enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends where you live, but like.
Yeah, exactly. But all in all, fucking controversy 2020.
Yeah, it's been a crazy motherfucking
2020
year.
is all controversy. A whole bunch of shit happened from the time January fucking 2020 started. Some shit was starting to happen.
Yeah, my cousin got married in Mexico in January, and it was my only destination wedding. And it was just the whole family was on vacation together. It was just such a magical moment. And like within the last couple days, I see on my phone, some virus outbreak in China, blah 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 blah. And I still, to this day, believe there's a chance I had it on that trip, because I don't know how early it was actually floating around, but some people say it might have even been floating around late 2019. And I was at a resort with a bunch of people from everywhere, right? And I swear it was the weirdest cold I've ever had in my life. It was very weird. But I just attributed it to I'm in Mexico. What are the odds I got this virus from Wuhan, right? And then even when we're coming back into the country and shit, all they're asking is, have you been to Wuhan, China? You know?
Mhm.
And at that time, it seems so like they're asking us if we've been to Wuhan.
Honestly,
Like why are they bothering asking
chill.
everybody? Chill the fuck
Yeah.
out. Now we look back and it's like, that's all they were asking was if we've been to Wuhan? There should have been fucking 10
Oh
more
my
questions
gosh,
there,
they should have been
right?
testing those.
I was having
planes.
symptoms for the whole fucking
Oh
last
my
last fucking
gosh.
5 days. You know, I was having symptoms.
Oh,
Nobody
so
asked
sad.
me if I had a symptom. You know,
Oh.
again, that's January, right? And who the fuck would have ever thought that we'd be sitting here now still talking about
Yes,
this shit?
right? And honestly, like back in those times, those planes, planes are busy. From the time they drop off one set of people,
They fit the maximum.
They're ready to pick up more
Yeah.
and go. It's just
Oh,
like a
yeah.
fucking bus. It's
Everything
an
is
Airbus,
max capacity as much as
Yeah.
they can, as
They
much travel as
back
possible.
and forth.
Yeah.
So like those times where people were thinking they just had regular cools, or like, oh, that cool was really bad, Who knows? Maybe that plane freaking, throughout its tours and stuff like that.
They ain't sanitizing them in between.
It was in
You know
Wuhan,
what I'm
China
saying?
at some point.
Yeah.
Or some
Yeah.
part of China where, cross contamination happened as far as that virus goes. But that shit has been spreading for a while. So a lot of people have that, and too bad we caught on so late.
Yeah, honestly, man. Because here we still are, and it's not. There's no end in sight, man. So I've been saying it'd be cool for people who are discovering this podcast, because I happened to start the podcast in March anyway, not knowing that shit was about to hit the fan. So you kind of, as you like listen to these 40 episodes, you're getting like COVID updates, like, and just at first we all thought it was bullshit, like, oh, this thing's gonna be over in a couple months, it's gonna be just like SARS, we're gonna forget all about it. And now here we are in episode 40, still like we are about to enter in like 2 days from this recording, the biggest lockdown we've had in Ontario so far. So really it's not even begun, and it's fucked, man.
It's so scary, man, especially like even being in the country traveling, right, a couple provinces over, to think of Ontario going into a lockdown, and then, my flight already got moved up sometime, so hopefully they don't change that again. But, just to think about traveling within a time like this is scary, no matter where you're going. Even if you're going freaking Toronto on a tiny little Cessna, you just don't want to be in a plane right now.
And you don't know what's going to happen. You didn't know that there was going to be a lockdown in Ontario happening while you were here, right? So your flight back is going to be a completely different experience from your flight there. That actually, I had a similar experience when I was in Europe, because we flew from London to Amsterdam, and then the night we flew to Amsterdam from London, there was that like multiple stabbing in London on London Bridge. It was like a terrorist attack thing with someone went around shivving people. Yeah. And everyone was texting me like, oh, where are you? Are you okay? Because I had been in London for days. And it was like, so the first night we got to Amsterdam, that happened back in London. But the funny thing was the difference in that flight from London to Amsterdam compared to the going back into London after. Dude, these fucking guards who look like they never held a gun in their life were holding these fucking AKs and shit. And they're looking at bro, like, yeah, bro. These cops went from billy clubs when we left, and they came back, they had assault rifles, bro. And then everything was like announcements in the airport, like if you see anything suspicious, blah blah. It was just total terrorist information. People were passing out like what to look for terrorism pamphlets and shit on like buses and public it was a completely different place. A week later, and you're probably going to go through something similar. Maybe not to that extreme, because we already knew about COVID, obviously, but just from now you're trying to enter a province that's not as locked down from a completely locked down province.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like places like, I think out east, somewhere out in Newfoundland or one of those provinces out east, they really took their lockdown to a whole new level. Even if you drove in, you could drive right out of the province to get gas and drive back in. You gotta quarantine. Just coming into their province, flying in, you gotta quarantine. So, it's really worrisome. Thinking about fucking flying at all during this time. I just don't know what's gonna happen. I know I'm gonna have to take that COVID test, but who knows? By the time I'm ready to leave, they might ask me to do something else. Yeah, like, yo, you need this vaccine.
But exactly. You need a vaccine to get on this plane.
Yeah, exactly. That's
but
my biggest fear.
all those little kind of islandy places that did just like the maritime provinces, even Kirby's on Vancouver Island, and he said it was the same thing. They just locked down the whole motherfucking island, and they're good. You know, it was 0 cases. I have a buddy that's in New Zealand, and it was the same thing there. It was just like as soon as there was anything, Prime Minister's like, nobody's leaving, nobody's going anywhere. That's it. And now they're chilling. Yeah, they're going to concerts and shit.
Yeah, so much people. I saw a post online. Yeah, it's just like a concert in New Zealand. Like 5,300 people or something like that at this concert.
Yeah, I think if we weren't so close to the States, and if we had maybe closed the border a little sooner and stopped the flights a little bit sooner, Canada would be in a good position because, again, we are, like it or not, our government has a lot of fucking power, and it's not like the States where it's like, well, I live in fucking Florida, so I don't have to listen to your God. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's a federal here. If it's a federal rule, it's a federal rule. That's it. Like, you know. So our government has a lot of power here. So we have been able to sort of curb things, but at the same time, it's still.
Yeah, they just got to go right in. I know they've kind of came on late, and clearly it's just late. I know you can't be late twice, but like this is
were they late twice? Man?
This is ridiculous. You know, just do it.
All they did was warn us about the second wave.
Just do it. Just lock shit down. Fucking let the cases drop. All the small businesses are already dying right now. You're already killing them. Just fucking
dragging
do it.
This shit on. Just not
do
making it any better. Yeah.
And get this over with, and let people travel, let people see places. They wanna leave their house. They wanna see the sun. You know, they've been breathing carbon dioxide for quite some bit. So let us flourish. You know, let us be.
You know, and we need and you know, for people that say, oh, it's only old people. Imagine living your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're in your last years on this planet. And you're sick in some fucking room, and you got to FaceTime your family to have your last moments with your family. We can't be having this shit happen, man. We can't be having this shit happen.
It's affecting so much people. I had a friend who, you know, her friend got in a seriously bad accident. You know, she ended up passing away shortly after. So, you know, R.I.P. But during the time that this girl was in the hospital and she was in a coma, all her closest friends, family, and stuff like that, for the most part, had their meetings with her over a camera. She was nothing related to COVID. It was, you know, but it was just that she was in the hospital when all of this was happening. So, you know, it was affecting everyone across the board, even those who weren't affected by COVID, because, you know, close friends who wanted to go and see this girl was just watching her in a Zoom meeting.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up. You know? So,
yeah, no, we definitely need to, whatever we need to do so that shit like that's not happening.
Yeah,
every single day.
Rules down.
Let's just fucking get it done,
man. But yeah. Fucking COVID is all the topic now. That's all we can talk about, eh? What's current.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Well, let's just, you know, before we close this thing out, let's just get back into a lighter topic, which is upcoming music, man. What do you got coming up? I know you've been stewing and simmering this next project that you're working on for a long fucking time, bro.
Yeah, man. Talk about stew, man. This shit is cooked. Like,
slow cooked,
overcooked. You know, I've been working on this title, not only the music on this song, but just the title in general and what the title means. You know, that title goes way back. So for some reason, every time I think about releasing a song with those titles, you know, I just think about it being exactly that feeling that I needed to be, you know? So I end up pushing this CD back like a gajillion times. And this Pink Moon, yeah, for the new year, I'm hoping to push this thing out. I have a video. Actually, we worked on a video today.
Yeah, shout out Skursky, man.
Shout out. You know, he really fucking killed it. So on this video, we worked out. As soon as this video is done, I'm just gonna fucking drop the CD and get it out, because I have so much shit cooking that I just need this. I need it out, you know? Need it out.
Yeah, man. So while y'all are waiting for the new video and the new project, make sure you go check out It's Not About You and Passive Aggressive.
Yeah,
your boy E did a little bit of mixing work on both of them, and I have a feature on Passive Aggressive. So yeah, so yeah, we out here, man, and we working, and we're gonna keep love you too, bro. I'm glad you finally made it on the show. We didn't have to do it through Zoom,
right?
Although probably my next few episodes are gonna have to be through Zoom, because ain't nobody coming here. Yeah, so much love, man, and you know, happy holidays, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. Thank y'all for a beautiful 40 episodes. And where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me at Dxrrell Mxller. DXRRELL_MXLLER. Go on Spotify. Look me up right now. If you haven't heard my shit before, look me up right now. There's tons of amazing artists down here and in Calgary. Make sure to check out those scenes too. But yeah.
We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. Thank you once again. And we'll have you back on the show again soon.
Yeah, next time I'm down.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And yo, here's to another 40 episodes, hopefully. So thank y'all for listening, and one motherfucking love.
Easy.
About to take a plane to another plane, to another plane, to another plane, bumping back and not nice while I'm trapping in the rain.